Thanks so much for joining us here at the Weather Network. I'm Farah Dhalla, and if you're looking for your local forecast, they begin in less than 60 seconds. But right now, let's talk about some of your headlines. Starting first in Burnaby, British Columbia. More details on all these stories right after a full look at your locals. I'm going to bring you up to speed on all the big weather stories that are happening across the country, but this is something that I have to clear up. I've been asked frequently on Twitter and Facebook how I have so much energy when I'm reporting the weather. And the truth is, well, our meteorologist brought in some freshly baked cookies, not to mention the donuts that overwhelm our news desk. So that's the confession there for you. Okay, now let's talk about some serious stories, starting first with the weather conditions right across the country. We're going to start first with this update. Of course, many were wondering where the satellite landed throughout the midweek, and I'll talk about that in your long-range forecast. But it's this stream of moisture from the Pacific. Heavy rain continues to batter the central as well as the northern regions of British Columbia. Flood warnings are in place. River levels are expected to rise as well, and for that reason, a local state of emergency has been declared for the Central Coast. Now, we see there is a rainfall warning for Bella Coola, also included in that. Port Hardy already seen almost 100 millimeters of rain, not to mention the flood warning. Now, the advice that we're giving out right now is if you have to travel anywhere along these areas, make sure you visit drivebc.ca to find out what the road conditions are like and what closures will be in place as well. So as I mentioned already, Port Hardy has seen 100 millimeters of rain, and I wish I could say that this was the worst of it, but unfortunately another area of low pressure is expected to pound the west coast for Monday. So this is just with the one system already in place, but there's another one that could be bringing in even more rain for you. So quite a drenching, and it is going to sink south midweek for you in Vancouver as well as in Victoria. This evening, the big story across the prairies is the summer-like conditions that you've been experiencing. That's expected to continue. Sunday morning, waking up to some fog patches across northern Ontario. Southern Ontario has already seen record-breaking rainfall amounts for Friday, 34 millimeters of rain in Toronto. So that led to really poor visibility on the streets, as we just showed you. For Sunday morning, cool at 13 degrees around the GTA in Toronto. For the Maritimes, could be seeing a chance of some showers across the southern shores of Nova Scotia and New Brunswick. That's because of this Atlantic moisture that's bringing in some cloud cover. More on this in your long range. We'll start first in eastern Canada, where we're seeing this area of low pressure. It's a cutoff low, an upper level disturbance that's away from the jet stream. So normally areas of low pressure, they ride the jet stream, but this one is looming across parts of Ontario, and that's bringing in quite a soaker for eastern Canada as well as parts of the Maritimes for Sunday. Hot and humid still across the prairies, so temperatures will feel closer to the 30s. And this area of low pressure continues to bombard the west coast. And then another round of storms continue as this area of low pressure starts to push on forward, affecting the foothills of Alberta as well on Monday. Slightly cooler. As you can see, the ridge in the jet stream is now centered over Manitoba, northwestern Ontario, and then unsettled. Same area of low pressure that we saw on Friday will again start to bring in showers, potentially even embedded thunderstorms across the Great Lakes into Tuesday. High pressure well in place and fair conditions for Atlantic Canada. That will continue for you in Newfoundland for Wednesday, but we're seeing really spotty showers for the west.